Hello, everybody. We'll wait for people to filter in here. Thank you all for joining. Just give everyone a couple minutes. Awesome, Carlos. Hello, everybody. Hello. We're going to take a great dive into all things NFT and VeeFriends 101. I'm excited to have everyone here. Oh. What's up, guys? I just have to make sure that I can share my video. My friends, I might have to do a quick restart if I didn't share my audio. Yep, there'll be a recording. Let's let everyone filter in. We're just starting in a few minutes early. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good night. Again, we'll start at 8 o'clock, but I'm going to let everyone filter in as they need. And I'm excited to dive into NFT 101 and how to, all things NFTs, road to Series 2 VeeFriends. And it should be a fun time for anyone who's in already. May from the VeeFriends team is here to help you answer people in the chat. She is the best. And I am excited to answer questions, walk through a deck with everyone and answer all questions that I can afterwards. Again, we'll give everyone to about 8:01, just a couple more minutes. Let me get into sharing my screen here. Again, we'll get started in a minute or two. Okay, everybody should be able to see here. Again, another minute, and we'll be able to kick right into it for how to buy your first NFT. Road to Series 2 VeeFriends. I am excited to kick it with everyone in a minute. We'll get started. Appreciate everybody taking some time out of their night or day, wherever you may be. Awesome. So it's 8 o'clock. I appreciate everybody who has joined. Everything that we go through today will be recorded, and you will also be able to visit any of it on our VeeFriends site, on this slideshow, on this blog post. Everything will be here from our calendar. Again, we're going to do these a bunch of times, whether you want to watch another one or you have to run and maybe tune into a different one. But I'm excited to have everyone here. And we also have our PowerPoint that we're about to go through, which will have all the necessary steps for NFTs and to get started. So if there's anything you miss or anything you want to go back and review, this blog post on VeeFriends.com is a great resource to everybody. Awesome. So I'll get into it here. how to buy your first NFT. My name is Adam Rips. I work at VeeFriends, and I've known Gary for a few years. He transitioned me from a card collector to an NFT collector, and I've gotten all up to date on all things NFTs and all things VeeFriends. You may have seen my name tossed around on Twitter a bit, and I'm always available. Maybe May can drop in my Twitter for anyone who wants to message me questions, which is at Adam Rips. And I'm always available, and I try to get back to everyone as soon as I possibly can. So I'm excited to get into this with everyone. So the first question is, what is an NFT? NFT stands for non-fungible token. They are unique digital assets. You've probably heard the letters a lot, the word a lot, and they range from all different categories, from digital art to virtual real estate to collectibles, gaming, and all of the above, and much, much more. And I applaud everyone for being here, because you might hear it a lot or you might not, but it really is such an early time. And I am applauding everyone for taking the time to want to learn about this in the first place. NFTs are authentic, indivisible, they are unique. They can be transferred from person to person. You can prove ownership of your NFT, and it has provenance where you can trace it back to its earliest days, and every transaction is tracked on what we call the blockchain. To make NFTs possible, or to interact with NFTs, you need a crypto wallet. And so what this is basically a browser that is essentially just like a normal wallet, except taken virtual, where this will hold your funds. It will display which NFTs you own. It will allow you to connect to different sites to buy NFTs. And so we'll get into all things setting up a crypto wallet, which is a necessity for diving into the NFT space. The most important thing that we'll check out in a minute when you set up a crypto wallet is what they call your secret phrase. And this is super, super important, because it is basically the keys to your wallet and all of the assets within it. Think about it like your social security number, your bank PIN, some of your most important information. It's so important for your secret phrase. I can't emphasize enough to never share it, or to only give access to people who you have the most trust in, because the secret phrase acts as the key to the wallet. We'll also touch on this more at the end, but there are two types of wallets, called a hot wallet and a cold wallet. Those are slang for software and hardware wallets. The hot wallet is all done online, and all the transactions could be done from your computer. And a hardware wallet is where, for an extra layer of security for yourself and your collection, there's actually a physical piece, like a hard drive that you can hold, that you need to make any transactions. So that is usually for people who just want that extra layer of protection to avoid any issues or scams, which we'll dive into all of the above in the next few minutes. And after this, we'll do a great Q&A where I can unmute some people and allow them to come up and ask any questions that I can help answer. Great. So popular wallets that people use, and these are those hot wallets where you don't need that physical piece, which is what I recommend for starters, is Metamask. There are a bunch of other options. However, Metamask is the one that cooperates with the most platforms and allows you to connect to a bunch of sites, kind of just like how PayPal, if you have a PayPal account, you can then go on to Nike.com or eBay or any website and pay with PayPal. That's exactly what Metamask is, where you store your funds here and you're able to then connect to all these different sites to buy NFTs with. Popular hardware wallets with that extra layer of security are Ledger and Trezor. And again, these are literally just hard drives, or they look like hard drives where they just allow you to confirm transactions physically instead of it all being digitally. Adds an extra layer of security, kind of like a two-factor authentication type of thing where you have to enter that code, except physically instead of only on your computer. Something that's important to discuss is desktop versus mobile for NFTs. So like I touched on before, it really is so early in the NFT world, where a lot of the technology works differently on desktop versus mobile. Desktop 100% provides the best type of navigation and security and interface for NFTs. 98% of the sites work best on desktop, whereas mobile is a little bit more laggy or hard to navigate. It's more so for people who are on the go all the time, or have much more experience where then they could, work on their desktop and their phone. For beginners, I would recommend the phone because a lot of issues that people face come from mobile usage. So the first step that we are going to do, and this will be the only video that we watch in its entire length, but it's very important, is how to create a MetaMask account. And so this video, again, is available to everybody. This is going to be about 9-10 minutes long. I'm not exactly sure, but I would definitely recommend watching and tuning in if you want to create a wallet at the same time, or at least take some notes. 100% do it. And this is always, you can always refer back to this afterwards. But I'm going to go into this and hopefully you'll be able to all hear it. And then we'll continue afterwards with more. But this is the great first step. Oh, I got to turn on this volume and then I'll restart.
Browser.
Here we go.
Today we're going to learn how to download and add the MetaMask wallet extension to our Google Chrome browser. We're going to use MetaMask because it's the most widely used wallet. There's other wallets available, but for our demonstration purposes, MetaMask is what we chose. So the first thing we're going to do is go to metamask.io, which is the website that you can download the extension. Always double check the URL whenever you're downloading or connecting your wallet to any site. We're very early into Web 3.0, and one of the exploits that people use is creating a site that looks almost identical to a site that you're trying to go to, and then being able to exploit you that way. So make sure it's the correct URL, the correct .io, not .com or .org in circumstances. So we're at metamask.io, which is proper, and we're going to go to the top right, and we're going to hit download. You can see the supported browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Brave, and Edge. We're going with the most user-friendly in my experience, which is going to be Chrome. You can see that on the top, it is already prompted us to use Chrome. There's a tab for iOS and Android, but once again, we're going to go with the easiest, which is going to be Chrome on our desktop. They do have mobile, but it is it's less buggy and it's a much easier experience with desktop and Chrome, so that's what we're suggesting here. So it's going to say install MetaMask for Chrome. And it's going to bring us to the Chrome Web Store. And we want to add to Chrome. And we want to make sure it's the correct one, which it is. And you'll see a video on the bottom from the MetaMask team. And we always suggest getting as much information as possible. And add the extension. So we can navigate away from the Chrome store, see the extensions tab, and we want to actually add it to the top bar. So we'll click that and then pin it, and now you can see the cute little fox on the top right there. So once we click there, we want to open up the MetaMask site, and you'll be able to see that we go to MetaMask and that we can get started. But first, check out that the fox will follow our mouse. So get started. And here you have two options. We're going to use yes, let's get set up. That's for someone with no wallet or anything like that. The other option, no, I already have a secret recovery phrase, is if you've already set up a wallet, which for our purposes, you have not. So let's get set up. Help us improve MetaMask. I would read through this, do your own research. It's not going to be giving your information, exposing you in any way. So I clicked agree, but check it out and read it yourself. We'll create a password. And with this password, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. I don't like to keep my passwords or recovery phrase on my computer. We'll get to that in the security section, but let's click that and move forward. So now that we have this password, we're going to go to secure your wallet here. So let's take a little bit of time to talk about what a secret recovery phrase is. It's a 12-word phrase that is your master key to your wallet and your funds. So I can't stress how important the secret recovery phrase is. Everyone wants it. Every scammer is going to be trying to get it. You might hear seed phrase. It was called seed phrase before secret recovery phrase, but it's basically the same terminology. So you're going to be writing this down on a piece of paper, not keeping it on your computer because it can get exploited. And I'd write it on a couple of pieces of paper and put it in a couple of different places. And then you would want to watch this video and read the information on this little tab. But I want to stress how important it is. It's your bank information. It's your social security number. It's if they have access to your wallet and your seed recovery phrase, they have access to everything in your wallet and all your NFTs, all your funds, and hopefully all your NFTs are going to be valuable and precious to you. So we want to make sure that you're as safe as possible. And let's hit next. So secret recovery phrase, once we click here, for our purposes, we'll show it because this is just kind of a test. But once we click this, it shows you the 12 words, the holy grail of your password. So make sure you write this down on a piece of paper a couple of times exactly in the order that it is. If you lose this, you lose everything. And if you give this up, you give up everything. So I'm hoping that I am stressing this enough for you. We want to write this stuff down. We're going to need that. But some tips on the right. Store this phrase in a password manager. Like I would not do that. Write this on a piece of paper. I would do that. Memorize this phrase. I have people that memorize it. Just be careful. If you memorize it, you might be quick to use it. So you always want your brain to always know if someone asks for that, you want everything to come to a screeching halt. But here, let's confirm it exactly how we saw it on the page before. And I'll take this time to continually stress how important the secret recovery phrase is. So, always make sure that you're keeping it safe, please. We will talk about it in security, but pretty much no one will ever ask you for your secret recovery phrase. A website will not ask you. So if any website does, even if it's Firefox, there's potentially an exploit there. Everything should come to a complete halt in your mind, and you want to reset and make sure everything is safe. Never give it up. So congratulations. You've downloaded and added the extension to Google Chrome. You've done it. You now have a wallet, and we're very, very proud. So read through all the information, and we want to click I'm done here, and then we'll go check out the wallet a little bit. So it's just saying what's new. They're talking a little bit about where transactions are easier to read. But in your wallet, you're basically going to be looking at your options here: buy, send, swap. Those are all going to be kind of third-party, things. But the most important, I would say, is under account 1 is going to be your public wallet address, which you're going to be giving that to people that you want to send money to, or if they want to send you something. It's not a secret or anything like that. You can give that out pretty regularly, and it's not a problem. But let's go to buy. You can deposit ETH through here. Like I said, these are third-party apps, so we'll go over that a little bit. But send, you would put in, if you wanted to send money to somebody like me, you could put my wallet address in there. And then if you want to swap ETH for a different token, you can as well there. So those are basically the pretty standard options for your wallet. On the bottom there, it says assets and activity. So assets, when you get something, you'll see it. And then activity, it'll show you that as well. We'll go over that more a little bit later. And then you can see, you can create a new wallet. You can set up your hardware wallet. And there's different networks. All things we'll go over, but I do want to stress how lovely it's been setting up the wallet with you. Today, we're going to learn how to...
Awesome. So that was a great video on setting up your Metamask account. Again, that will be visible on the VeeFriends YouTube page, should you want to go back and revisit some steps. I definitely recommend watching that 1.5-minute video that essentially reiterates again how important it is to secure that secret phrase. So what you will need to buy an NFT is the cryptocurrency called Ethereum, aka crypto money. Yes. To buy Ethereum, you will need to set up an exchange or create an account on an exchange where you can then turn your currency, whether it's US dollars or not, to Ethereum. What you could also do on this site is convert other cryptocurrencies to Ethereum. But for our purposes, we are going to demonstrate how you can take dollars or whatever your currency may be and convert it to Ethereum through Coinbase, which is definitely the most commonly used platform. There's a couple others below: Binance, Gemini, PayPal. I know Binance is more international, but Coinbase is by far and away the most popular. So I'm going to click through this a little bit and just guide through how you can buy your first cryptocurrencies, which again, you'll need to buy NFTs. And this video again is always up.
Hello, today we're going to learn how to sign up for Coinbase.
Let me extend this a little bit. Great.
Hello, today we're going to learn how to sign up for Coinbase.com, which is a cryptocurrency.
So he's signing us up for Coinbase. You'll be able to click on the top right to sign up on your account. It will ask you for some basic information, email, you'll set a password, location, and you'll check that your age is appropriate. Then you will maybe get a little bit of a reward for signing up. They will ask you to verify your email, so they'll send you a code. You'll want to make sure that it's from, it's in all likelihood going to be, but from that no-reply@coinbase.com. So it's an official email, and you'll have to enter in your code. He's then entering his phone number. Well, he'll get another code to sign up for Coinbase and verify that it is him. Select your citizenship and verify your identity. So this is where it asks more information again to confirm that you are you, from your first name. Let me go back 1 second. First name, last name, date of birth, your address, your social security number, employment status, source of funds, etc. And so that is just to all verify that what you say is true, and that when you deposit funds that it can match it up to you being yourself. It'll ask you to verify your info and maybe how much you'd expect to spend and what industry you work in. You'll verify your identity, and that will go through. Then what the most important thing is, before you're able to buy/sell, you'll see on the right side here in his account limits, in his settings and his account limits. And again, I do encourage people to walk through this if they please. A lot of his limits are disabled, and that is because he's not yet verified his photo ID. So you'll see here, unverified, and he'll click this box to verify his photo ID, or you could also press enable, send, and receive. Those are both important things to do. So that's what he just clicked, and it is bringing him here. So this is where you can add a payment method. You'll add a bank account, which is the recommended way to the recommended way to fund your account. After this, we'll go into a couple different ways to fund their account, but you'll have to add a bank information to enable sending and receiving of funds. All right, so there are a few different options that you can use to fund your Coinbase account, so you can then buy Ethereum. Your bank account, which is that top option of bank transfer. I'm actually going to kick back into this view. I like it a little bit more. It's more what you see. Just for now, one of them is called bank account. We're going to talk about PayPal and wire transfers. Debit card is more for small amounts, and there's a lot of limits. So I would like to stick to bank account, PayPal, and wire transfers. So the differences between those is bank account could be used for larger and smaller investments. You can bring cash in, put cash out, buy and sell. And the speed, when you use your bank account, there will be a delay from when you buy it to when you're actually able to send it. So while you may be able to buy let's say 1 Ethereum or 0.5 Ethereum, you'll be able to buy that, but it'll take a while for you to actually be able to send it. Sometimes between 3 to 5 business days. Other times it can be upwards of 1 week. Using wire transfer is typically for larger investments, but it could be for any amount. It's probably the most common used form. And what's great about that is even though it says 1 to 3 business days, especially domestically, it is almost always the same day if it's sent before 4 o'clock Eastern. So typically about an hour before banks close, if you send it in that day, it'll be available for you to spend or for you to purchase Ethereum with and actually to send that day instead of any sort of delays. And lastly, PayPal. PayPal for small investments. So I think there's about $1,000 cap on this, but it can be done multiple times if you would like to fund it with more. And it allows you to buy and add cash and cash out. PayPal, I think, is $1,000 limit, like I said, but also easy to use. And so all of those are great options. Again, wire transfer is the only one where you'll be able to use all of that Ethereum in the same day. Great. So again, that video is always there for you to reference if you need it. So after you buy Ethereum, this is actually going to go through the process of buying Ethereum, the cryptocurrency that you'll need, and sending it to that MetaMask account that we just set up. So again, I like to think of it as a bank account and a PayPal, where your bank account allows you to fund a PayPal account for normal transactions or a Venmo account or whatever that may be. And so this is going to show essentially how you can get the funds from Coinbase into MetaMask once you buy the Ethereum. So we're going to walk through this whole process. So he is on his homepage. He has this balance in here, but we are going to buy some more Ethereum, and we'll show you the best way to do so. So he's clicking on the top right, buy/sell. You'll see that it has his order in as Bitcoin. He will then want to switch. He'll click into this and he'll switch it to Ethereum right here. And that's actually the second option. So it does show up right away. And he's funding from his bank account. It says Wells Fargo, whatever bank you have will show up. And that's from when you initially link your bank account, right when you sign up. So that'll be there. And you'll be able to enter as much as you would like. He's going to fund $250, which will be available for him to trade because it's a smaller amount. And so he puts in that purchase. He's able to see everything here. So the price of how much Ethereum is, and that's always fluctuating. How much he's looking to purchase. Coinbase takes a small fee for the transaction and his total amount. And so, for example, here at this time of this transaction, $250 amounted to 0.0766 Ethereum. And so he purchased that. And so now that adds to your portfolio balance, where now it shows that he has $0 down here and $245 in Ethereum. So the reason it shows 245 in Ethereum is because of the fees that were involved. And of course, that will fluctuate as Ethereum fluctuates as a currency. So now that we bought Ethereum, he will be sending it to his MetaMask browser, that MetaMask wallet that was set up in step 1. So he has that pinned to the top of the screen. I'm not sure if it's showing here, but he clicked on that little fox that he added as an extension. And this account 1, this will say account 1 for yourself and for everyone who sets up a wallet. And this little code beneath it, it's actually a long code. It's not very little. It is essentially like I think I'll chat about this in another minute or two, but essentially like your email address or your home address, where anything, whether you buy an NFT or you want to send cryptocurrency, this is the address where you'll, the destination that is personal to you and nobody else. And unlike your secret phrase that you write down, this is public and this is okay to not keep super secure. Of course, it's important to be careful everywhere, but this is a public wallet address. So what he's going to do is he's going to tap on this account 1, where it's actually going to copy his address to clipboard automatically. As you can see right here, just tapped it, go back a minute. He just hovers over it, copy to clipboard, copied. And that allows you to just get that string in one block. And so he clicked to send Ethereum, you can click on send/receive, where then you get this bubble. He is sending all, but you can also plug in however much you'd like to send. And he's confirming that it's paying in Ethereum. And in the to box, he is going to paste that address in, which means that he's sending $245 from his Coinbase account now to his MetaMask, so he is able to spend it, or at least store it there for the time being. So he's checking. What he's doing right now is important. Even though you're copying and pasting, you want to be a little bit careful. And so he sees that this starts with OX798, just like it does in Coinbase when he pasted it. And he's just confirming that the letters match up to what he actually has. So he just confirmed it. He is sending, and he will press send now. From here, you might get an authenticator pop-up. Yep. So he got a text to his phone, which you will get as well, which then authorizes Coinbase to send that transaction. And here you go, 0.732 Ethereum sent. And so that should typically show up within 10 minutes into the MetaMask account. And so I'll forward a little bit, and you can see that he now has 0.113 Ethereum again, a little bit more because he had some in there. And so it shows received 0.073 Ethereum. And so that is the process of buying a small amount of Ethereum on Coinbase and sending it to MetaMask. Something that I like to do personally is, if it's a larger amount or you want to test it out and make sure you're doing it right, is literally just send maybe $1 or $2. There's a small fee involved with these transactions. But for the peace of mind, sending maybe $1 or $2 with that same method before sending everything is sometimes very helpful. Great. So I touched on this a little bit before, but each exchange will have its own nuance and transaction limit, and it's time dependent, depending on maybe where you live, which state or which country. So it's important to do some research, maybe on which one of these is best. But again, bank account for any amount up to $35,000. And if it's a larger amount, sometimes it takes a bit longer to send. Wire transfer is a bang bang type of thing where you use your bank to send a wire. It gives you the information that you need to send a wire transfer, and you're then able to take that or email or call your bank and send that wire. The most important thing there is that wherever you send your wire from, whichever bank, it needs to match the legal name on Coinbase. So those names have to correlate, which is how they verify where the funds are supposed to go. And then you'll be able to buy and transfer Ethereum quickly. PayPal is also great for smaller investments, and it has an instant purchase. Just sometimes, again, takes a little bit longer to transfer to MetaMask wallet for you to allow you to do that. The reason behind that being that for new accounts, they don't like to process bigger transactions for security reasons, which is great. But sometimes it just holds up a few transactions in the beginning. So this is an awesome video. We're actually not going to go through it for our purposes, how to buy an NFT from OpenSea. I'll click on it for a second and maybe spend a minute on it, but this is a great video to watch if you have some time. Again, only 6 minutes, but it essentially shows how to maybe view some of the top collections on OpenSea currently, how to search collections. So he's looking at VeeFriends, then how to filter between them, see the prices, see how many owners there are, recent transactions. So OpenSea, I should have maybe probably explained this first, but OpenSea is essentially like eBay for NFTs, where people can list and sell their NFTs on the secondary market. So for example, this is kind of like eBay, where someone will buy a pair of shoes from Nike or from Adidas, just like how people can buy NFTs from when they, we'll get into it a little bit more, but they can buy their NFTs from websites that are not OpenSea. And then OpenSea is a secondary market, just like eBay. And he goes through how to make an offer, even how to purchase an NFT on this website, and how to confirm a transaction on MetaMask. And so I'll just go through this for a quick second. On OpenSea, when you press confirm, MetaMask will drop down and show you some fees associated with the purchase, and you'll be able to confirm it, which will then add that to your collection. And then so he just bought this on camera, which is a great walkthrough for when you are prepared to do that. So always will be a great refresher. Awesome. So congratulations, you bought an NFT, or you will eventually buy an NFT. So how do you see it? The NFT that you bought is stored on the blockchain. So it's not necessarily stored in your wallet or on OpenSea. It's stored on the blockchain, but your wallet and your wallet is, as it says, is the key that allows you to view your NFT on platforms like OpenSea. So while it's not stored on OpenSea, you're able to view it because it's connected to your wallet, which has ownership of that NFT. So another great site is Rainbow Wallet, which is a great way to view your NFTs, especially on a mobile device. And like that video just showed, where it was that one NFT in his profile, that's OpenSea. And while that item is not stored in OpenSea, he's able to view it because it is connected to his wallet. This is a great video for how to set up a hardware wallet that VeeFriends and one of our great moderators at VeeFriends set up. It is about an hour long, and it's not needed for all these beginners. But should you get to the point where you want that added level of security or want to learn more about it, this video is awesome. It is great. I highly encourage watching it for an added layer of security. It takes you through all things how to set up a ledger wallet, which is, again, that physical piece that has that extra security, truly needed for people for peace of mind and for higher level of security for maybe more valuable assets or higher transactions. One of the most important things, and I cannot stress it enough, to cover are scams in Web3. It is so important to be safe and to be cautious because, like any new industry, especially this one, there are people that are out to get you and people who create scam attempts, just like this one, or just like these rather. So fake emails that go out from VeeFriends, and this happens across all collections. But again, given who Gary is in the space and VeeFriends is a wonderful project, there are not so wonderful people who try to scam beginners, innocent people, which is why it's so important to kind of slow down as you're learning. And forever, it's important to be very careful because sites will ask you to connect your wallet, or they'll look like OpenSea, but they won't actually be OpenSea because, or they'll try and create sites that to trick you, which is why we stress, why you have to go to metamask.io and OpenSea.io instead of .com or .org or .gov, because that stuff does happen. And so while you're setting it up, and in the future, it's very important to be diligent. If you get these types of, this obviously says Gary Vaynerchuk directed by Kuba, so it's not even right Gary as a person, someone who was imitating him, and someone who was not so quick, or was someone who was so quick and not so thoughtful or careful would have just thought this was Gary, clicked on this link, and it would have brought them to a bad site. Another thing to be careful about, because I just spoke with somebody about this, and it's not quite included in here, but a lot of people promote their NFT projects literally saying that Gary bought them, or that Gary, actually they say that Gary owns them. And so what they do is they make it look like Gary has them in his wallet, or make it look like Gary bought them, when really they didn't, and there's really no, there's nothing that actually supports that. They are just claiming that Gary owns something, or maybe they sent him one for free. A lot of times people send Gary free NFTs to his wallet publicly, and then they say, oh, Gary owns 5 of these, Gary owns 10 of these, or Logan Paul has 5 of these. Again, that stuff is very, very fishy and scammy. And it's something that I've learned with more experience in the space. But all of those advertisements that come up on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it may be, a lot of the times they're just, not very factual. Gary likes to say that Google is your mother. Personally, I have a wonderful mother and I prefer her, but Google is a great resource for all things NFTs and all things cryptocurrency. So a simple searches such as what is crypto, what is blockchain, what are NFTs, who created Bitcoin, what is mining, anything that comes to your mind. And again, we'll do a Q&A after this 100%, but anything that comes to your mind, Google has incredible resources and YouTube videos or podcasts or articles. Gary has a media outlet called 137 PM, ONE 37 number PM.com. And that has a ton of awesome content around all things NFTs and wallets and OpenSea and purchasing and safety. And so there's a lot of great resources out there, YouTube videos, etc. Now that we've kind of hit through a great 101, I want to go through a couple terms just to reiterate and to help educate a little bit more. So that wallet address, which was that thing that you can copy and paste from MetaMask, You can think about the blockchain as a GPS and your cryptocurrency address as its targeted mailing address. So without an address, you can't store things. The blockchain can't send something somewhere. You can't, that just directs where is this thing going? Where is this Ethereum going? Or where is this OpenSea going? Which address is going to hold that? And so each person, each wallet has their own individual address that is unique to them. Gas is the term for a transaction fee on the blockchain. So when you make a transaction, you have to pay a fee. And you are basically paying a miner to go out there and receive the crypto for you. So again, because of the computing that goes on to make these transactions, there are fees that go with each transaction, with each purchase, or each time you send. So it is a little bit frustrating, but it's definitely unavoidable. And there's different levels of gas. So the price of gas, depending on how many people are making transactions at once, kind of like a supply and demand type thing, the price changes. So this is a great site called rariableanalytics.com. And this is on the site, or you could also probably look up, Ethereum gas tracker on OpenSea, or sorry, on Google, not on OpenSea, on Google. And you'll be able to see some sites to say, is this price low or is it high? So when you make a transaction, you're not getting hit with a super high gas fee. And that usually applies to OpenSea. Minting, you may have heard that word once or twice if you've been in the space for a while, or sorry, if you've been curious about NFTs or if you've seen any articles. Minting is basically verifying new transactions on a blockchain. So when somebody mints an NFT project, if you've heard that at all, or you've seen it, or if you haven't, what that basically means if somebody mints a project is they are buying an NFT for the first time. They are the first owner of it. It's the creation of a new NFT because somebody bought it essentially. And so basically when VeeFriends first came out in May, VeeFriends is Gary's NFT project. When those first came out in May, the first buyers who went on the website to buy them, they were minting those NFTs. Again, I compare it to you wait in line at Adidas or Nike or Supreme or wherever you may wait online to buy a good, and to buy shoes. That's technically like minting, is when you're the first person to buy that from the store. The secret phrase, I sound like a broken record, but it is the most important thing to take away from this. It is so important, whether you go into a Discord channel or Twitter or Instagram, or you get a faulty email, everything that they do, the bad people do, the scammers do, is to try and get that phrase because of how important it is to those assets. It is the access, it is the keys. You need to keep it safe. And somebody asked before if you can change it or if you can alter it in any way. That is what is, or if you can create it. No, that secret phrase is given with each wallet individually and uniquely. NFTs and tokens. A lot of people refer to NFTs as tokens. I might have done it subconsciously a few times. Again, NFT stands for non-fungible token. So when people say VeeFriends tokens or NFT tokens or digital tokens, they are referring to NFTs. Synonymous terms. And again, I think I chatted on it briefly, but signing is basically what you do when you press that blue confirm button on Metamask. It is making the transaction official and signing it with your wallet. So this final slide, and again, we're going to do an awesome Q&A afterwards, probably till about 9 o'clock Eastern, so maybe 20 or 30 minutes. But these are great resources at the end of the slideshow, which can be found on our site. For all things NFTs. What is an NFT? What are NFTs? The ultimate OpenSea user guide. How to make a crypto wallet. 5 things to do to best prepare for an NFT purchase. NFT terms you need to know. Just a lot of great stuff. Even YouTube videos. So actually this is our, all the videos that you saw in the slideshow. These are here on our full educational playlist. And this is our blog post. I wanted to touch on this, our VeeFriends collection breakdown. Since a lot of you guys have, whether either you follow Gary or you've heard of VeeFriends, we'll dive into it for 2 minutes, just as a little helpful thing before Q&A. So series 1, we're going to dive into Gary's collections. Series 1 is his first NFT release back on May 11th of 21. He sold a little over 10,000 NFTs, and they're all basically characters that Gary created. So Patient Panda, and offensive-oriented orangutan, and there's happy hermit crab and gratitude gorilla, all things that Gary values in the real world that he wants to create as characters. And so the best way I like to describe it is that Harry Potter, the IP and property and brand of Harry Potter, was created as books originally. And Pokemon, one of the greatest IPs in the world, was created on trading cards. And so Gary's VeeFriends, which he wants to make one of the biggest and greatest brands on the planet, are stored and are created as NFTs. VeeFriends Mini Drops is a little sub collection that VeeFriends has that focuses on just more drops and surprise drops for holders, as well as more small drops that Gary does that don't quite fall under this original VeeFriends umbrella. So everything additional that Gary has done so far fall under VeeFriends Mini Drops. And again, that is searchable on OpenSea. The last one, or his latest one rather, was called Book Games. And that was a collection where for a 24-hour period, Gary announced that for every 12 books of his new book called 12 and a half, for every 12 books that you ordered, this was back in, August, you would get a free, or you would get an NFT with those 12 books. And so he sold over 1 million books. There are over 100, there's 125,000 total NFTs from Book Games, by far his most vast collection. And I definitely encourage you to look through. There's a great blog post here, more about Book Games. And there's several ways that book games are played and why they are so cool. So I encourage you to look into that. And why a lot of us are here today is for VeeFriends Series 2. And so the launch date is in spring 2022, very likely to be in the April range. And they will be the next series of VeeFriends. The Series 1 VeeFriends have gotten very expensive, and there aren't too many of them, of course. And so Series 2 will be a great way for people to get into the VeeFriends world and Gary's world and ecosystem at a more affordable price for under $1,000 in US dollars, which in Ethereum. So it's going to be bought in Ethereum, but at the equivalent of under 1,000 US dollars, which is great and a great way to invest in the project relative to Series 1, which is definitely a lot more expensive. It's a much better access point. So again, I definitely encourage everybody to check out all of these sites. You're always free to look through any of these videos and do some more research on your own. But this is 100% just such a great resource for yourselves and for other people who may be asking the same questions on how to set all this up. So I'm so happy to hop into a Q&A with people. I guess I'll stay sharing. I guess I think that works. But I will be happy to answer any questions I can with you guys. And so what you can do is there should be a button on the bottom right to react, and you should be able to raise your hand. And then hopefully I can select you guys. Awesome. So I can ask you guys to unmute. So if I select you, you guys will be asked to unmute and you can ask your question. I don't see names here. Just ask somebody to unmute.
Hey, hi, Mike. My name is Santosh, and thank you for the session. It's a wonderful session. It's great to know about NFTs. And my question is, you have mentioned that Series 2 would be for worth of $1,000 in terms of Ethereum. For example, let's say Book Games NFT. I know we can buy Series 2 by burning the Book Games NFT. At the moment, I can see Book Games are around 0.2 Ethereum floor price. Does that mean you are saying that I can buy Series 2 with 2 Book Games NFT, which is probably, if I get to the amount I spend is 0.4 Ethereum, which is around $1,000, not exactly 1,000, but with the current Ethereum price?
It's a great question. So Book Games has a few different facets to it, a few different ways that it can be used. Because there are so many Book Games tokens, like I said, I think right now there's around 122,000 of them. Buying a Book Games token does not guarantee access to Series 2, but it will give you a better chance. So out of all of the Series 2s that will be created, all the Series 2 NFTs in April, most of them, the majority of them will be in an allotment to Book Games holders. And so the more book games tokens that somebody has, the more potential they have to buy one of the Series 2 NFTs. And that will not involve burning. I'll get into that type of section, that type of thing afterwards. And there's a great blog post that kind of lays this all out to read through, but I'll try and be as clear and concise as I can. So buying a book games token gives you a shot to win that, win the opportunity to mint and to buy the new series. And the more book games somebody has, the more tokens, the better odds that they will receive, the better odds that they get for buying one. Or if somebody has 10, maybe they'll be able to mint or buy, 3 or 4. But if someone has 20, maybe they'll be able to get, 6 or 8 of them. So it's all kind of the luck of the draw there. Gary is also going to introduce 15 new characters in Series 2. And those will be able to be, so for the general friends list launch, where that majority goes, you will not need to burn or exchange your NFT to get it. However, for the new characters, he is going to do different combinations of tokens and play fun games around how people can access those. So it's not quite as straightforward yet, and more info will be released up until the launch. And apart from all of that, there will be a public sale for VeeFriends Series 2 that will not involve book games itself. But it's going to be a smaller pool of tokens that are available and likely be a little bit more competitive since it's a smaller pool and anyone can access it. So you will have a shot without a book games token to get Series 2, but the book games NFTs definitely grant you a better percentage or a better chance of being able to buy one of them.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for answering that. Just a follow-up question on what you have mentioned.
Yep.
So you mentioned that we don't have to burn a book game token to get VeeFriends Series 2. Is my understanding right, or am I missing something?
Yep, that's right. So let's say you were to buy a couple book games tokens or just one of them. That definitely gives you an entry into it gives you an entry to better odds to buy Series 2. And let's say that your one token, you got lucky, it's awesome. Your one token allows you to mint or to buy, buy and mint are interchangeable here, one Series 2 NFT. You'll then be able to buy that for under $1,000 in Ethereum and you'll also be able to keep that. So no, you will not have to get rid of it or burn it, as they say in the NFT world.
Oh, okay. This is something new for me, but I read somewhere that I have to burn the book game tokens to get Series 2. But
nope. So it's not. You won't have to burn it. I think there's a great blog post that puts this out. Maybe May's put it in once or twice, or I could also drop it in as well. But I would definitely suggest reading that, as it kind of lays out how the functionality will work when it comes to the new project in April.
Yeah, could you please share that link in the group chat, please? That would be wonderful.
Awesome, perfect.
Cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for the.
Thank you for asking.
The question. Cheers.
Of course. All right. Okay, I will ask somebody else to unmute. I don't see the name here, but I've just requested.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, what's up, Kyle? I see you now.
Awesome. Yeah, so I kind of have like a two-part question. So like, obviously VeeFriends is like ahead of the game when it comes to like the utility of the NFT itself, and actually it's like a membership, like with the VCon event and like a pass. And really my question would be just like, what are some next steps outside of like, I know obviously Gary talks about taking VeeFriends and making it almost into like a transformer brand type product, but like what other ways other than VCon or like just like a book in general, like where is this like heading? And then I would just also ask that how soon do you think you guys are going to have like gaming events? I see that in the Discord tab that it says that like they're coming soon, and I'm a big gamer, and so I'm just really excited about that, and just wanted to see how VeeFriends would be used and what type of gaming events you guys are planning on actually hosting.
Awesome. Great questions. I'll touch on the first one. So for everyone here, he used the term VCon, which I should have brought up when I was chatting through them. But Gary's Series 1 NFTs, those most the ones that he released first and will constantly try to bring value to, is a annual conference for the next 3 years that Gary is throwing all around crypto and NFTs and culture and entertainment, only exclusively for people who own the Series 1 NFTs. And that should be super awesome. This first one is going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that will happen for the next 3 years as a perk for Series 1 holders. As Kyle asked, I hope I got your name right. I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Awesome. Where are VeeFriends' next steps? And so, of course, Gary is an awesome operator, and understanding the NFTs as a whole, and what he can do to benefit his holders is a big thing. So, of course, he has a great history in the NFT landscape. I mean, in the business landscape as a whole. He started his own company, and it's a big company, and he's had multiple co-foundings and exits, and that's why his project is so sought after, of course, because people in the NFT land like to bet and invest in the people behind the project. And so Gary, of course, is a great option to go. He, like you said, does want to make it like his version of Transformers and his version of Disney. And because of the technology behind NFTs, he can always add on value in the future. And so what I think that may mean are everlasting perks for holders, depending on how he feels may fit, however he feels may deliver the most value to those. And so I 100% see Gary, building out children's books, like you mentioned, and video games around the characters, and cartoons and TV shows and collectibles and toys, to where, everybody can recognize Patient Panda on a large scale. And I think that he will, as the brand succeeds, apart from VCon, he will always try to do things to both add fun and awesome and potentially access, above and beyond value. And I think he will continue to innovate on what he can do for the holders. Again, it's just he's such an operator where he does things that he feels are best for holders at the time, where VeeFriends isn't like a typical NFT project where there's a roadmap and you can see what happens over the next year. Because Gary is just working behind the scenes to make these very valuable and awesome for holders. And I think just him building his own Disney and also being able to reward holders along the ride is kind of his idea for this moving forward. Because he can prove who owns Tremendous Tiger or who has a VeeFriend, and offer perks specifically to them, which is super cool and something he'll do down the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And by the way, I'm gonna. Yep.
What about the gaming event? Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. So
no, you're good. I'm just really pumped about that.
Yeah. So I don't have specifics on gaming events for VeeFriends. Like I said, I do know Gary has the intentions of building out games centered around these characters. And I also know that he is interested in like collaborations with existing games for these characters. It's things that he said publicly. I know he owns an esports team. He's very into the gaming and esports world. And so I don't know exactly what his goals are for that. There might be people in Discord who have a better idea, who have been speculating a little bit more. I don't know for sure, but I know it's 100% a world he wants to tap into. Nothing I know specifically though.
Awesome. Hopefully soon.
I hope so as well. Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle. All right. I will ask the next person to unmute.
Is that me?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Adam. Thank you for. I know I asked May, but you don't know any platforms that actually can mint videos, because I have a lot of videos and I'm just trying to get it out there. To at least test it out, test out the waters. I could be, the test dummy kind of thing.
Sure. So OpenSea is the #1 secondary market for NFTs, but they actually have a minting. You're able to mint and create your NFTs. Mint and create can be used interchangeably here as well. You can create NFTs on that platform. 1:37 p.m., which is Gary's site, or there's a bunch of other resources, but they definitely have articles on how to do that. You can upload a file from a computer or even a phone, maybe. Again, I usually do things from my computer, and I know you can upload a file from there, and you can price it and add it to your own collection. And of course, there's more that goes into potentially selling NFTs. But
Right.
just like how I can take a pair of shoes or a T-shirt and list it on eBay, you would be able to go on OpenSea and create your own NFTs, and that includes video files. I think it allows you to select the format, whether it's like whatever file it may be, but it can be images or videos directly on OpenSea, which is definitely what I recommend and what I've seen most people looking to get into it that have done in the past.
Yeah, you don't know like if it's important to do like 1 minute, 5 minutes. I'm just wondering. And
No,
then
so there's definitely, they do them of all different lengths. I've seen ones where they're time lapses and they upload them. I don't know if there's a limit that I can't answer, but whether it's 5 seconds or a minute or 2 minute, it's all up to the artist or the creator, which would be you in this point.
Right.
And so there's no limit. I mean, I don't know if there's a limit, but there's nothing that's really, there's no direct link that I could point to where it'd be like, oh, this is more traditional or common. I think it just all depends on the content and the video and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Have a good night. All right. Eric, I will ask you to unmute. And perfect. Great. Give him a minute. Okay, I will get back to him. Let's go with Mary.
Thanks. Can you hear
My
me?
pleasure. Yes.
Okay. So, Mike, I have a couple of questions. First, when they say, for example, share your email address or whatever, do we have to, put the address under the account one or send and receive? Which one?
I'm sorry, you said on what or send and receive?
When sharing the
Yes.
wallet address, do we have to share the address under the account one, or is it the send and receive?
Great question. So the address is that MetaMask address. And so when you click on MetaMask, and I definitely suggest watching that video once more. When you click on MetaMask, the account one is what shows as your account. And right under that is your public address. And so when you click on account one, that'll be your way of copying it from MetaMask. So that's your address that you'll be able to copy, is that account one.
Yes.
And then when you go into Coinbase, you'll want to press send and receive, and you'll want to just enter that address where it allows you to. And so it's both of them. It's being able to select that address and then paste it into Coinbase when you send and receive.
Okay. And another question, I also watched the book game live for the tokens. I found it very complicated. Is that what the minting is?
So
that was the minting.
Are you referring to when Gary was live on YouTube telling everybody to buy the books?
No, after buying the book.
Got it.
A few weeks ago, there was again live stream for how to get the tokens. The process was so big, and some people had so many, problem in the process. Is that? But my question is that the process called minting?
Great question. So typically, it is not because that particular process was linked to a physical buying action, right? So the rule of it was for every 12 books that you buy, Gary will send you an NFT. And so if you bought 120 books, you would get 10 NFTs. This was very unheard of and had not been done before. And so it wasn't done on the blockchain per se when you bought these, like you didn't use MetaMask to buy those books is what I'm trying to say. And so it was not the traditional minting process. The reason why there were a bunch of steps involved is because it was bought with US dollars, and it was done in a way that would save. It was actually done on a platform called Token Trove, which does not have any secondary transactions. And so secondary fees, I meant. So when you buy something, there were no fees involved or sell, there was no fees involved with gas. So there were a few reasons why there were a few extra steps that were needed. mainly because it was not done on the blockchain when people bought them. It was not done with MetaMask. People could just buy it with dollars. And so it was in a different setup. And eventually, I think the VeeFriends team chose that method because it had benefits. It was a little bit complicated to get through, but there was definitely some content out there and some calls like these that helped people. But no, that is not the traditional minting method. Typically, and how VeeFriends Series 2 will be, there will be a site to mint/purchase the NFTs. So you'll be able to go technically or hypothetically to VeeFriends.com /mint or VeeFriends.com/series2. And it's going to be that same process where you're able to connect your wallet and purchase something, and that'll go immediately to your wallet. So it won't involve all those extra steps. The reason why that happened is because it was a project that was basically sold on in US dollars on like Barnes and Noble and stuff like that. So it had to be set up in a different way, but that's not typically how they go.
Okay, and last question, is it still going on or is closed, the series 1, the book game?
So the book games collection, so series 1 and book games are separate. Series 1 released in May, and that one sold out in a few weeks. So that one is definitely done. And the book games and the book games,
you know, the token that it was released in January.
Yep. So the window to buy books for the tokens has expired. That was only a 24-hour period.
No, we bought a book, but I haven't, get involved into the getting the token because it was so complicated.
So those can be purchased still on Token Trove. Are you asking if do you mean that you purchased books but you have not claimed your NFTs, or are you referring to?
Yes.
Oh, you did.
I just bought one book, so I'm not sure if I'm eligible, to get the NFT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the purchase mechanism was for every 12 books somebody bought, they get an NFT, which amounted to about $300. And so they wouldn't be able to get one from that. But the secondary market on Token Trove is you're still able to buy and sell in the secondary market, but there wouldn't be anything that you would have to claim with the one book.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, Mary.
Okay.
All right. Photo Boys events. I like the Z in Photo Boys. I will ask you to unmute.
We're really cool.
I can imagine.
Well, here's the question for you. Kind of follow up to Mary's question. I did buy 24 books, some on Barnes and Noble and some on Amazon, half and half. Never took advantage of it. Got busy with life. And is the window closed on it, or is it still available for us to do something productive with? Besides, we did pass out almost 18 of the books. People that work for us and all kinds of other, friends and family and things.
Yes. So I think May just dropped in a message for you. They are available to claim until the end of the year.
Oh, fantastic.
I think there was a form that you were to fill out with your order number. I don't know if you got through all that stuff.
I don't think I got it. I did send an email to the email that you guys had recommended at the time, and I never got any communication back, but I would love to be able to do that.
Okay. So there is a great, there's a few things that we have out where maybe it guides you through how to claim them. But yes, until the end of the year is my belief. And definitely right now, until the end of the year, you'll be able to claim those tokens and use those.
So, okay, I see it. Info at VeeFriends.com. Send some info on that.
Yeah, May, I don't know if there's a specific link that maybe, I think there is something, or a YouTube video that allows you to that kind of walks it through. But yes, you should be able and entitled to those NFTs still.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Okay. Yeah, because kind of the same boat where I literally was inches away from buying at half an ETH and I couldn't make through the steps. And it just got so frustrating to to activate. And I got lazy, I got busy. I'm happily got busy with work and wasn't able to take advantage of, buying first round. But at the same time, I don't want to I want to figure out how the steps go.
Totally. Okay, perfect. We'll definitely shoot an email there. I think May's putting in a couple awesome links because she is awesome and amazing. And if you have any questions, that will be a great way to do so.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a good night. I really would love to get to everyone. I probably only have about 10 more minutes. But again, I'll put in my Twitter in here as well, but I would love to get to people's questions. So I'll try to be a little more concise. I'll ask people to unmute.
Hi there. Can you
What's
hear
up,
me?
Michael?
Hey, so I have two questions. So can I still buy book games? Is there a way to buy them still, like secondhand market?
Yes. So I think it is on a site called tokentrove.com. And book games, I think, is their most popular collection. And I believe the floor price or the cheapest one that is available is around zero point 0.2 or 0.25 Ethereum, something in that range. And there's also a few resources out on the VeeFriends site. May just dropped in a good link for a token trove. Someone just said floor is 0.23. And so there's also some good educational things on the VeeFriends.com blog where it explains how you can buy on token trove. May
Awesome.
is amazing. See,
Yeah.
she just dropped in a good blog post.
Yeah, see, and one more question. Can you go in depth on Web 3.0 a little more? Web 3, like what it is exactly and how it's different from Web 2?
Yeah, I can definitely touch on that. And I'm gonna try and stay. Feel free to message me on Twitter. I'm gonna try and answer this in like a minute or two when it can be like an hour-long podcast.
Yeah.
So we can always talk more on it. But I think essentially what it is a more power to the people kind of decentralized platform where cryptocurrency is used and NFTs are used as opposed to more centralized assets. And so I think it's a combination of crypto and NFTs, and they kind of work together, of course, as we just saw in this slideshow. But I think essentially it's instead of ownership belongs to specific companies or specific people. Of course, we'll see that exist in a small form, but through these NFTs and being able to control ownership of something by owning an NFT or by owning crypto, it's different from only one corporation or one person owning something. Instead, it can be distributed to people and controlled by people in ways that was not able to be done before. I would definitely encourage YouTube videos like what is Web3 or Google what is Web3 and go in a little bit more there. And I'm always happy to chat more, but I think that's kind of like my nutshell version.
Awesome, thank you. And thanks for like the course and everything.
You got it, brother. I'm happy to do it.
Thank you. I'll be
Have a good night, brother. All right, I'll try to get through a few more. Kyle, I will ask you to unmute.
Hey.
Hey, Kyle, how's it going? Yep.
Going well. I already answered a question earlier. Is that all right? Or asked a question earlier.
Oh, go. Do you have another?
Yeah, I do. So like when I was first getting into this about a year ago, I actually right. So I have a question about this. So I minted on like Rarible and then like transferred the same NFT onto OpenSea, and like I can't find a way to get rid of like that on Rarible, like on my account connected to my wallet, that NFT specifically. So now like when I try, or when someone would try to like buy my collection like personally, like it will throw up like a red flag saying like warning, like there's been like whatever activity on this account, but like it's actually my own NFT that I took off of Rarible, but it thinks that I like stole it. So like I didn't know, is there like any like remedy for that?
I know it's an OpenSea thing. I think I've heard of the issue in the past where like I don't think you're the only one. I don't know exactly what causes it. As far as it showing in both wallets, again, that's kind of I know I think it's the reason it shows in both of them is because neither of those store it, but it just connects to your wallet. So that definitely makes sense why it shows in both of them. As far as listing it, it might just be something that OpenSea has where they automatically do that with Rarible listings. I don't know exactly, or if there might be more info online, but I've heard the issue before. It's nothing that I know specifically.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Cool. You got it. I'll try to get to a few more people here. Great. I just had somebody to unmute. Give them a minute. Okay, I will move on to the next. How's it going?
Hi. Good. How are you doing? Thank you very much for conducting the session. I actually attend yesterday's session and today also inspiring session as well. Two questions. The first one is how many with the launching of season 2 for the VeeFriends, will there be launching for book game as well? And then the second question is, like,
I'm sorry, I lost you for 1 sec. Could you just repeat the end of that first question?
okay, my first question is, with the launching of Volume 2 for the VeeFriends collection, will there be launching as well for the book games?
Gotcha. So book
Okay,
games has launched.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
And
I'll
one
answer
more
this one
is
first.
I still. Okay. Yeah, sure. You answer.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So my second question is, I still don't get it about the burning the book and stuff. Will that be covered in the next sessions? Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So book tokens has launched already, and like I mentioned before, it was done in a way that's not so traditional to NFTs. It was done in maybe a more complicated way than people are used to, because it wasn't done all on the blockchain. VeeFriends Series 2 will very likely be done from the VeeFriends website, where you can just simply connect your wallet and purchase it. So while the while the book games purchasing window has closed and that minting process is finished, it will not be done in the same way. VeeFriends Series 2 will very likely be on VeeFriends.com, where you'll be able to connect your wallet and purchase it there. And so that hasn't happened yet and will likely be in April. As far as the burning of book games, we will put more content out as that gets a little bit closer. Again, that's probably going to be in the April timeframe. And that essentially, the only way people will burn their book games, if it's for one of the new 15 Series 2 characters. So Gary's creating 15 new characters that have not existed previously. Some of them he has hinted at on Twitter. And I think there was a blog post that went up about that. And as we get closer to that release, there'll be more info that goes out about how people can use their tokens to burn for those. So there's more knowledge in advance. And I don't know if these, maybe I know this is I think for like the next 2 months, these sessions are going to occur. And so maybe if more info comes out up until then, we'll be able to release it. But for now, we'll definitely educate a little bit more before, but there's no info that we can really share at this moment.
Okay, thank you very much, Adam. Thank you very much, May.
My pleasure. Have a good night. Okay, I think I'm going to go to Joe. And then, great. I'm going to go, Joe. I'll ask you to unmute.
Yeah, hi. I have a question. I managed a rap group early in the 90s. And I have, I guess, a lot of stuff that we did in the studio. And I'm trying to figure out the process of putting that on OpenSea as an NFT. Mm-hmm. And no one has really, I guess we haven't got to the issue of copyright law and how that all matters. I mean, I'm sure it obviously matters, but is it a situation where possession is 9/10 of the law? Or is it a situation where because it's on blockchain and it's something that's obviously recorded and anyone can go see it, like how is the legal thing rolling given that it's a new technology?
Good question. So it is a little bit more Wild West, given that there's not, super crazy regulations. I got a good chance to actually chat with somebody about this the other day, and it does seem that within the record label, within somebody's label or agreement that they've signed, those same types of restrictions around copyright would exist in NFTs. However, I think it's all kind of on and this is 100% like a do your own research, Google is your mother type of thing. And I'm very introductory and basic on my knowledge, but I don't think it's quite like all free play and fair game. There's definitely some restrictions, and sometimes certain contracts will like note about like what mediums music can be released, or where or how people can be represented, or who's in a music video or whatever that may be. I do know that a lot of that same stuff still applies, But as far as creating NFTs, anything could really be created, whether it's music lyrics or a music, a lyric or an unreleased video or album or whatever that may be. All that is open. And so I think it just all comes down to individuals and their own contracts. Definitely something that there's some good resources online for.
Okay, so real quick, when you put something there on OpenSea, and I guess you give it a time limit, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Do you have to promote it in order for people to know about it? Or how does the auction market become the market is what my question. Like how do you hear about these high prices going for things that and it's like, so how does that process actually happen?
Yeah, so you could mint your NFTs, create your NFTs to a certain collection for sale, whether it's an auction or a buy it now, also known as fixed price. However long you want to put up for, like all that is very open. And yeah, I think just like how somebody can, create their own brand or company, they'll have to market it to get their word out there. I think it's very much the same. For example, when Gary released his NFTs, he would go on LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and socials to spread the word and inform and educate people. And for most NFT projects and people who want to start, Discord is very important for new projects, where all of the information and communication usually happens in Discord. And so it definitely takes some promotion to gain awareness. But not necessarily Instagram ads or Facebook ads. Of course, that's always an option, but usually more like organic and authentic growth through social media and people's pages and stuff like that.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure, Joe. Have a good night. All right, I'm gonna try and hit through the 3 I have here, and then I'm gonna have to jump, but I would love to get through these. Mary, I'll ask you to unmute.
Thanks again, Adam. Can you talk about airdrop, how it works? And
yes.
In sharing for example, the ETH address, I see like people constantly sharing their ETH address. Is it safe to do so?
Great question. So unlike 100%, the secret phrase is never safe to share with anybody. Unless
no, but just
the
address.
Yes. I just wanted to reiterate that the secret phrase is the bad part. Your public address is safe to share, meaning that there's no necessarily safety hazards that go with that directly. But an airdrop, the reason why sometimes people don't like to share their public address, they don't post their addresses places, is because airdrops can be sent to you, which is basically projects that maybe aren't so desirable or are trying to like spam people can then send things to that wallet, which is what happens to Gary a lot. Is projects like to send things to Gary and say, oh, Gary owns one of these, which is a downside of airdrops. But essentially all an airdrop is a surprise, whether you like it or not, free NFT that goes to your wallet. A lot of the times they're not worth a lot, or it's like a spam email kind of, which is why a lot of people don't put their wallet addresses out there. I kind of equate that to, sometimes there are good airdrops where like Gary can decide, okay, for anyone who has a self-aware hair VeeFriend, they now get a special drop. And so that could also be an airdrop, but 95% of the time, they're just people who send free NFTs as like a spam email kind of to wallets. And so the risk of putting your public wallet address out there is just your wallet getting crowded with things that you may not want. But there's no danger like the secret phrase with the public address.
Okay, and my last question in your Discord, because there's always some excitement and there's some speed to it, and it's very hard to navigate who is real, who is not.
Right.
And for example, if I even want to reach you, is the why not to put your contact or whoever is with Gary's team, so the team has a certain section, whoever wants to have some question, we can reach you, because it's so crowded. There are so many people are taking people's identity, even Gary. So I always have to be sure, who am I talking to?
Yep. So that's a great point because Discords are very crowded, and it's also a home where people, or a haven where people try to scam people. So may just point out that in Discord, there is a ticket where, first of all, I think the Discord communities is usually supportive and able to point out fakes. There's a great mod a team that works to try and keep the Discord pretty safe. I think that a lot of the times, the people who are to be trusted, whether it's Gary or myself or May, as well as a bunch of others, will often have tags on our usernames that make us moderators or admins, which are important. And sometimes their Twitter accounts are linked, so you could click on the Twitter account to see if it's truly them, because there's no way to fake somebody's Twitter account in Discord. And so I think the team usually does a pretty good job to clean it up a little bit, but to verify, usually the trusted people have a little black cat next to their name, which indicates that they're an admin. And some of the names, or you can click on their name and it will show like if they're an admin or if they're a moderator or if they're trusted, which sometimes helps as well.
But is it possible, like, for example, if you have some announcement, you put things in the announcement or anything general, to also make some section, for Gary and Gary's, colleague and you guys. So at least we always have your, tag or a name, or how do you call it? They're always there if you want to verify. What I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. May just put in our chat that there is an announcement section, which keeps it very clean for someone who just wants more updates, because only staff or and Gary can access it, which is not as crowded, or there's not as many people that try and get into it. And May also just
but with the information of you people in it.
Yep. So this is, I think, what May just put in is awesome. I didn't even know this existed, which is shame on me, but now I do. The glossary tab has all the accounts and information for the real accounts of VeeFriends employees and Gary and moderators. And so that glossary tab would probably be very useful.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. All right, I'm going to go through Leo and then one other person who I cannot quite see their name. And then I was going to have to jump, but I really appreciate everybody sticking with me. Leo, I asked you. Yep.
Hi, Adam. So thank you so much for your presentation. I really learned a lot. So
Awesome.
I have one question just in regards to security, because I feel like with Web3 being so just new right now, security is probably one of the biggest issues that's coming with all the different scams and different methods. So when you're looking for buying an NFT on OpenSea, how would you what's your process on your thought process on identifying an authentic NFT versus an unauthentic one?
Great question. Two things. One is if it's a higher end or more sought after / popular collection, then it will have a blue check mark next to let's say you search something up on OpenSea, on the right side, it'll have a blue check mark next to it, which indicates that it's verified. And then furthermore, on an individual NFT or asset, it will say that it's a verified asset, which is that blue check mark. And the second thing I think is just to take things slow and confirm everything first. And the way I like to do that sometimes, just to be very sure, is to go in the either on the Twitter of the project, which usually has official links to projects, and in the project's Discord, just to ask around and make sure that it's the right thing. But I think all of those kind of indicate what's authentic and what's not.
Oh, okay. So each project usually has a Discord or a Twitter link that's back to it to confirm its authentication, right?
Correct. So Discord and Twitter usually have all the authentic links for projects, especially Twitter, usually in their bio or maybe one of their first tweets. And then the top projects usually have verification check marks on OpenSea.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thank you very much.
Awesome. You've got it. All right, one more. I'll ask you to unmute.
Hey, thanks a lot for taking the question. Might be kind of basic, but I'm looking at Gary's OpenSea page, and on the bottom it has all these apes that it says collected. Does that mean that those are the ones he has owned? And if so, there's no check mark next to those, and I'm just wondering, are those verified, non-verified, because they're on his page?
Right. So let's see. May might have a good link that I would love her to put in if she can. That is one that Team Gary V, I think, put out today about which NFTs does Gary own. There are countless amounts of apes and NFTs and such that are in his wallet that he actually did not buy. And that's really for the sole purpose. And it's very unfortunate people do this, but it's because of who Gary is in the space, where they will take an NFT collection, will take their things and send them to Gary just so they can say, oh, Gary owns these. But he didn't actually buy them or research them or make that decision himself. They were just sent to him because he is a public figure. And so, no, my instinct is that he did not purchase those. There are potentially, there are ways to see if he purchased something, and it's not super easy because of how OpenSea is laid out. But in his OpenSea section, there is just because you're on it now, there is a tab that says activity. And then you'll see that all of those are pretty much transfers from either a null address or from somebody's wallet to Gary's. If you would want to see what he's bought in the past, first of all, he usually speaks publicly about it because he buys things he believes in and he's transparent. And you'd want to filter them by sales only. And you'll be able to see what Gary's actually bought in his activity as opposed to what's only been sent to him. But all of his collected NFTs, that includes all of the ones that has been sent to him that he does not want or collect. And so it's not the best way to view it all. Another way that you can possibly view in that section is if you sort by like price high to low, that'll show you like what he's purchased them for. And that'll show the ones that he's bought. But unfortunately, OpenSea doesn't make it super easy for us. Awesome. I think that covers everybody. I'm glad I was able to hit through all these questions, and I am available to go through more. We went through a very quick 90 minutes, or at least it felt quick to me because I really can talk about this all day, and I love it, and I'm happy I'm able to spend the night with you guys. And so I would like to thank May because she does this nonstop, and I don't know how because she is the best. I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in. If you want to go through that deck on your own time, I would definitely encourage it and watch review videos and content. And we have sessions going for the next, month or two. So always feel free to come back in or message us on our own. Awesome. I really appreciate everyone's time. I'm going to end the meeting and you can view this recording at any time. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, May, and have a wonderful night, everybody.